Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and happy Pride. I'm so happy to be here, surrounded by this supportive congregation, and I am proud too. But to be honest, tonight, I'm also afraid. More than I have ever been since, as an ambiguously gendered kid from Iowa, I made my way to the big city for my first Pride. There, I found so many rainbows, along with possibility and hope. But in that first moment, I was shaking. Would I be accepted? Would I be attacked? I didn't have to wait long for that to happen. As we marched, protesters waved signs and spewed hateful words. God created male and female. Which one are you? You're an abomination. God hates you. Given where I grew up, the people yelling were more familiar to me than the multicolored revelers of every shape, style, and expression all around me. All I wanted was to get away from the hate, be safe, and find a place where I could flourish. Soon the crowd opened and swallowed me up, and I was marching towards my own promised land. Slowly, I found it. Many of us did. The gains we have made have surpassed anything I could have imagined that first Pride. But tonight, that old fear is rising again. Those who rebel against our advances have been arriving in gangs at Pride events, armed with more than signs. Legislatures and governors pursue laws against trans children, even investigating their parents for child abuse, for seeking the care their children need to be themselves. Just today, Justice Thomas, in a concurrence to the decision terminating the right to choose, said the court should, quote, reconsider all of its court's substantive due process precedents, end quote, including Lawrence, which prohibited criminalizing same-sex sex, and Obergefell, which established same-sex marriage. Those arrayed against us don't want us to go toward the promised land of self-determination and equality. They want to turn time backwards, not just before Stonewall, but all the way back to the very beginning. Those protesters I encountered wielded quotes from Genesis like sacred weapons. Creation, they want us to think, is orderly and dichotomous, with all things in their right places: light and darkness, sun and moon, male and female. The days proceed in unwavering order. There was evening and there was morning. There was evening and there was morning. And yet, there's a special time in creation that breaks out of this structure and ultimately provides hope in moments of uncertainty, such as when Moses and Aaron are challenged along the way and when we face unprecedented backlash. Erev the very first Shabbat, as the sixth day of creation was drawing to a close, there was a moment called, in Hebrew, Bein Hashamashot, between the sun and the moon. We call it twilight. It resists definition. The rabbis teach it is both light and dark, and it is neither. It's a moment free from expectation and constraint, ripe for transition and change, blossoming with possibility. Dr. Aaron Leb Smokler calls it the violet hour, and I think it is a time especially for us. Tradition teaches us that in that liminal, special, violet time, God created 10 miracles with expansiveness, transformation, and hope built into their very nature. One by one, they come into the world in times of fear and challenge to point the way forward. 2 of those moments arrive in Parashat Korach, and a third speaks specifically to us as we celebrate Pride tonight. Our parasha is set in another time of conflict and fear, features a different group of protesters. Moses and Aaron are marching the people forward amidst many setbacks towards the promised land. At its best, a place of safety, freedom, and God's love. But Korach and his band of 250 rebels stand against them. Their faces red and menacing, they challenge Moses and Aaron, shouting, "You have gone too far." They don't like the way things are. They want to go backwards. They even refer to Egypt, from which they have just escaped, as the land of milk and honey. As their protest escalates, God opens the mouth of the earth and it swallows the rebels whole. The flat earth that transformed into a pit in that fearful moment, that was created Bein Hashamashot, in the violet hour. And though we know the earth doesn't literally open to swallow those who gather against us, in moments when we are challenged, this miracle gives us courage to act like Moses and Aaron, to stand up for what is right, knowing that change and victory are possibilities and that we will keep moving forward. To affirm the victory over the rebels, especially in securing Aaron's leadership role as the high priest, Moses took a staff from the elder of each of the 12 tribes. They wrote their names on them, and Aaron wrote his name on the staff of his tribe, the tribe of Levi. Moses took the staffs and placed them together in the tent of the pact, the holy place. Aaron's staff nestled in the middle of the bunch. Moses left them overnight as God directed. The next day, all were the same, except Aaron's, which had sprouted, blossomed, and brought forth almonds. That amazing flowering staff, it also came from Bein Hashamashot, the violet hour, to attest that the victory was just and that Aaron's side was the side of life and growth. From this, we know that our role is to care for the LGBTQ plus community, especially when others are attacking. Let us be ourselves. Bring us to the center of the community and let us flourish. The mouth of the earth and the flowering staff came to Moses and Aaron when they were fearful and faced with existential challenge, to provide hope and keep them moving forward. One more creation comes from the violet hour and can do that for us, the rainbow. Rainbows appear at the end of a storm and point us toward the sun. They are ephemeral and expansive. For us, they are a symbol of the spectrum of human sexuality and gender expression. Their beauty comes from the violet hour to remind us that we are wondrous and boundary-defying. We carry transformation and progress within us. This pride, may the rainbows we see give us hope that we will keep marching forward, and in the midst of this supportive community, we will blossom.